Coming up on this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, Cheer Team and a Black Box musical. All of this and more coming up next. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Aditya Gogol. The cheer team is gearing up for competition this season. Carson looks into how they prepare for their season.
The Neuqua Varsity cheerleaders had a great fall season, but their work isn't done yet. The team looks forward to a busy competitive season ahead.
Our main goal this season for the team is to have fun and to podium. We had a really hard year last year. We were rebuilding, losing a big senior class in 2017. So last year we had a lot of rebuilding to do just with a young squad. So we want to have fun this season, like doing what we love, and we want to get back on the podium.
To ensure that the cheerleaders are in their best shape for competition, they continuously provide support to their teammates to be sure they stay motivated.
The team gets motivated mostly from each other. We have a lot of mat talk when we perform and when we practice, and we all come in with just a positive attitude and ready to practice. The routine is very hard, obviously, so we were expected to do cardio and tumble outside of practice.
The varsity team's dedicated line of coaches make sure that the team not only feels prepared physically, but also feels prepared mentally to guarantee that they can hit their routine.
We always say the mind's stronger than the body, so if your mind's not prepared, your body can't do it. So we're doing a lot of mentally things just to prepare, because this routine's hard, so we want to prepare their minds to be able to hit this routine.
Make sure to support the team for their first competition of the season at Carl Sandburg High School this Sunday at 2:54. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Carson Goss.
Students are participating in this year's edition of Game On. Carly has more details on the competition.
Local cable channel NCTV 17 is hosting their community game show competition between Neuqua Valley juniors and seniors.
Game On is a game show hosted by NCTV, and this year they're doing seniors versus juniors at Neuqua Valley. It's the first episode ever done with students as the contestants, so it's all going to be based around what it's like to be a teenager nowadays.
The theme for the show is Clash of the Classes, so since it's going to be juniors versus seniors, it's going to be like us going against each other.
The students have been practicing and preparing for the upcoming show and have high expectations for their teams.
Personally, me, I'm looking at old music from the 2000s to hopefully give me a little bit of an advantage to the games. I kind of know what's going to be happening, and we're just really pumped up and excited for it.
You know, our seniors, we're getting excited, we're getting rowdy, we're feeling good and confident. Our team chemistry is great. We're excited. It's going to be a good time. So come and fill the auditorium. It'll be great.
You can purchase tickets to the taping of the show for $10 per student and $15 for adults at nctv17.com. The show is on Wednesday, December 5th. Doors open at 6:30 and taping begins at 7 p.m. 20% of all proceeds will also be benefiting the senior and junior class gifts. Best of luck to all contestants, and for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Carly Hersberg.
The Neuqua Valley Varsity Gymnastics season is underway. Lauren flips into the story.
The varsity girls gymnastics team has been working together for their season despite a difficult setback.
Because I don't have an assistant coach, the girls are actually working together to put their routines together because I can't get to all 20 of them by myself.
During practice, we're always together cheering each other on and trying to critique our skills. And during the meets, we're always also cheering each other on.
As a senior comes a huge leadership role in leading the team mentally and physically.
So this season we actually have a lot of goals. We want to make sure everyone, especially on beam, stays on the beam for at least one meet, and then we also want to place at conference.
As a senior, I try to set a good example, is just having a good attitude, because I think that's a really important part of the sport.
Gymnastics is mostly an individual sport, but since it's also a team sport, at meets we definitely work together, cheer each other on. It's the same thing as we do in practice. We help each other get new skills, help them correct form.
Coming up to a meet, it's a lot of numbers and a lot of routines. Hitting routines, usually the day before a meet, they're not allowed to leave an event until they hit each routine that they're competing at least twice.
Come out to the girls' first meet at home against Mattia and Waubonsie at 6 o'clock on Thursday, December 6th. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Lauren Verdon.
The Neuqua Valley Theater Department is hosting their very first Black Box musical. Lexi looks into what this play is all about.
For the very first time, the theater department is showcasing their very first musical called The Trail to Oregon in the Black Box Theater.
So Trail to Oregon is it's about 2 hour long musical, and it is a spoof musical of the elementary school computer game, The Trail to Oregon.
Although this musical is a funny twist on the children's video game, it is for mature audiences and is not kid-friendly.
So the musical follows the same story as the video game, computer game, but it's definitely not for elementary school kids. It is a PG-13 version of that elementary school game.
The Trail to Oregon adds a fun twist to the generic video game by interacting with the audience throughout the musical.
The entire family at the beginning of the show has just generic names, so it's mother, father, grandpa, daughter, son. And they all get named by the audience at the beginning of the show. So throughout the entire show, we have to use the names that the audience gives us at the beginning.
Because this is the first musical in the Black Box, the cast has been faced with some challenges along the way.
This is a new kind of experiment because we're figuring out how to do sound in the black box because we don't usually use lav microphones in the black box, but we're bringing them over because we want to take care of their voices. So we're going to be miking everyone. And that's a new thing, but we're hoping that we can come up with something that sounds really cool.
Be sure to come out to the musical on December 6th and 7th at 7 p.m. and December 8th at 3 and 7 p.m. You can find tickets at nvhstheater.com. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Lexi Mugalu.
The LMC at Maine and freshmen are partnering together with Art Department for something new. Jalen looks into the story.
With a large group of NEQA students being involved in art classes, both LMCs at the main building and the freshman building will be showcasing artwork made by students.
I guess it kind of started when we started to kind of repurpose what this room was for. It used to be kind of just another sitting place, but we were trying to provide like a quiet study area for the library. Once we started to once we went one-to-one and we started to kind of think, well, how can the library like look a little bit different? How can its purpose change a little bit? And part of that is doing things like celebrating student work by putting student artwork up.
Well, this is really new for us, so we're open to suggestions. Basically, when I was asked to bring in art, it was people who didn't bring up work from Fine Art Festival. So next month, we're thinking we'll just rotate different art teachers. So if you have painting, we'll have painting work in there with Ms. Samet or Mr. Young or Mr. Johnson's photography class. And just kind of rotate it depending on what teacher is up.
If you are interested in getting your work shown in either building, contact any of the art teachers, or if you are interested in checking out some student work, stop by the LMC. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Jalen Scott.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.
Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood, but life